That should be good. Let me check the audio. Testing. Testing. All right. Whew. All right, we're picking back up where we left off. We have a bunch of boards to run through the jointer. And I just want to make sure I have clearance for the longer ones. All right. That's a good place for the planer. We have enough room to get everything in there up to 84 inches, which is my longest pieces. We have the planer head height set to the right height. So for most of the day or the most of this live stream, I have a bunch of these boards to run through, and we're trying to go down all the way to 1 3/8. And we're currently about 1 7/16. So we have a good few passes on all the material sitting here behind me. So that's what this live stream is going to be. We're going to do that until we hopefully finish. That way tomorrow I can go into actually cutting things to the proper lengths and get into routing everything for this door profiles. A bunch of sawdust. They're going to be about 9 1/4, give or take. So we have some 10-inch wide points here for all the bottom rails. The goal is to also get everything nailed down. So I can have the most space for tomorrow, get to the right table and everything else. Currently at 1 5/8. sides. Something like this one, I still too thin to actually get cut. So I'm just back until we ready to play. Left side on the board. So we have a nice flat underside, and now we're just planning to see everything else just parallel. The end of the day, and hey, how you doing? This is right now. Run on these small pieces, stack them here, run on my long pieces, restack them on the sideboard, lower the planer, and then kind of pull all these and get them back up. This is going to be a cycle of stacking them in here, stacking them back here, kind of back and forth as I lower the blade. My column how you doing? This is what it is. We're currently building a bunch of I would love to have like a 36-inch wide planer and a helper out here and a hand square board, really rough stock. And now that this side is completely flat, you see a couple of these are still rough, like this one. It's plain here, still rough here. A few more passes and I have a whole entire board that's, again, not like this one. Perfectly plain, jointed on this side. And we have this edge jointed. This side is still rough. We'll get over to the table so I can get everything planed out. I started building all this lumber, and I ran out of space for it. I have a buddy that's a bunch of chickens. He'll come and grab the bags probably at the end of this week. I have all my bags outside set up for grab something stupid higher. Stack woods on the in y'all way. That'll be a little bit better. Got to put the tree on this back. try to keep track of the hand so I don't. My dust collector back there. Good, this is all up here. Hot saw, radio art saw, plywood storage, bathroom, nothing room. We have sink, fridge, seating areas, recliners. Two of my benches I typically work off of. Dress press, bandsaw. Another bench over there, my main outfit table. Another bench, table saw right here. And then we have my hand tool bench. And then we circle back to that back room. So it's not a tiny shop, but I think we're doing 10 doors. I would actually love, again, 1,000 square feet would definitely be, we're making 10 interior doors. So this back here is all rails. Those are all styles back there. So those here, they planed out from the ends. So we just like cut things aside, they run into the router. Everything's already been jointed on one side and then jointed. I'm trying now to get everything down to the proper thickness. Yeah. So I have to fall asleep. That's it. Plenty of space in the bag. Sorry, I actually could use a break too. Let me grab a cigarette. Yeah, we're currently building 10 interior doors. For an older house, they're gonna be 5-panel doors, and yes, everything is kiln dried. I picked it up from my local sawyer. I'm gonna see if I can show you guys what I have on my doors. A little close, far enough. Probably not. I'm about to bring you guys closer. So I have 10 interior doors, and I made a cut list and everything else on the back side of my door. As far as styles, rails, I kind of color coded it. And then I have all the individual actual measurements and the rough dimensions all color coded here on my door. So the goal is to turn all this into 10 interior doors. We're using ash. I still have all the panel material, all that's 4-quarter board up there that needs to get milled eventually. My goal is to get all of these turned into at least the bases of the door, and then I'll start milling all that stuff back there and making panels. Whew. And I've been streaming probably every day for the last 4 or 5 days. I'm also currently doing a garage conversion as well on the side. So I get pulled off to go do that constantly. So between the garage conversion, these doors, I have 2 estimates I need to kind of finish up tonight. One client wants me to do some stairs. Another client wants me to put in some floors and install some cabinets. Oh, you know, that's actually funny. These clamps have been on this door for at least 2 years. And the first clamp ever to fall is falling because eventually, I guess, this got unthreaded. Oh, yeah, I forgot these ones don't even thread in. This is kind of fixable by friction. Where's the head? Where's the head of the clamp? Oh. The head of the clamp that came off. Yeah. That's the game plan that we're working with today. Trying to get everything ran through the planer, flat, down to 1 3/8, so we can actually continue on with the door build. I recently put a router table into my table saw, which is under all of this. So the goal after this is to get everything ran through with the Freud style and rail bits. I've only ever made exterior doors before. I never made an interior door. So these are just gonna have the standard 3/4 inch tenon or 1/2 inch tenon that comes from these router bits. I might throw some dowels in there just to make me feel better. But there's gonna be some simple doors. Again, the hardest part is really getting everything milled. And it wouldn't be so hard if it was a standard, door build. I've only done like 1 or 2, but I think 10 is where I am finding that my limits are reaching, just because of the amount of time, the amount of milling, and the amount of space. Again, my shop definitely can handle pretty much, a 1 or 2 door build, door jams and everything else. But in this case, definitely a lot of material to be moved around the shop. And considering my other schedule with other clients, it's kind of hard to do it all. But we're making way. We're making way. Everything is finally jointed. And again, the running stuff through the planer is actually the easy part. Just a little time consuming, with the passing the boards back and forth and trying to figure out how I can stack everything efficiently. So with the styles, what I'm doing is creating, I think there's room for 4 stacks. I gotta figure out how to take care of that glare. I'm going to get a filmographer in here one of these days to ask. But I have enough room for 4 stacks of material on my sawhorses. So what I'm doing is, as I feed all the styles, pull everything into 2 stacks. Then I have empty space on the backside. Then I can lower the planer blade, run all these through again, make a complete 4 stack. Then I can run all these. Then I can lower the blade again, run all of these, get all the material back from over there to over here. They kind of rinse and repeat the process until we get all the way down to 1 3/8. And currently we are at, 1 3/4. So we have 3/8 of an inch, and optimistically, that's like 6 passes. Yeah. We have a lot of planning to do. I might be able to do a little bit more than the 16th because these boards are only like 5.5, 6 inches wide. So I might be able to do a little bit more than the 16th. And if I at least had like a 15-inch planer, I'll feel more confident sending 2 boards through at a time. But again, because I have this snipe sled, I forget what it's called. Since I have this kind of sled put into my planer, the walls that keep the board from sliding off to the side are slightly out of the way. So if the board slides through the planer and slides too far off to the right, it doesn't get cut. So not to free feed it anyway, which defeats the purpose of running 2 boards. So I've been just doing one, trying to make sure it's centered, try to use both sides of the blade, or all sides of the blade. So trying to feed it on the left, trying to feed it on the right, just so I'm not dulling the blades faster than I need to. And also, that's just what I'm doing. But that is the game plan, and that is the mission. So hopefully get all these ran through down to 1 3/8 tonight. Then tomorrow, when I get off of work over at the garage, I can come back in here and set up my router table and get all the joinery done, get everything cut to proper lengths. And then I can start sizing all the panels, because a lot of the panels need to be glued up. So this is 10 doors. These are all 5-panel doors. So I need 50 panels in total to complete all these doors. I have some 1x12s, but again, I have a bunch of 1x6s that need to be joined together, glued up. So once I get all the doors kind of made, I can kind of stack those off on the corner somewhere, get them off my benches. Then I can go delve into doing all the panel work. That is the mission. We can tell I'm sweating. Whew. I'm gonna finish a cigarette and get back to it. And now everything should be pretty much the exact same size, so I should be able to take heavier cuts at this point. Well, actually, it'll be the next round. Some of these, yeah, and I'm saying that we'll take off a 30-second. And you shouldn't be taking off anything So I just ran those two, but I did have to raise the blade, lower the blade, because some of the boards are a little too thick. These are just ran through. This should register as almost nothing on the depth gauge on the planer. And this is registering at a 32nd. So it actually looks like I got to run all of these again before I can lower the blade. And is that true? I think what I'm going to do is probably do like a half turn, run all of these after I finish up the stack, just so I don't have to rerun all of these. This will get a really light pass. Those will get a light pass, but then the next go around, I can take a heavy pass on everything because everything should be about uniform. The thought process anyway, and fingers crossed it goes that smoothly. Because again, we have 3/8 that we essentially need to mill off. And I think the max this planer can do, you know, they got fresh blades in them, but like I've never taken more. I took an 1/8 before. Let me not lie. I've definitely pushed the machine to its max, and 3 passes on all this material sounds great. But I don't want to overload the machine while I'm trying to get all this done tonight. It'll suck to burn up my planer before I can finish this project because I don't quite have the investment to drop another $800-900 on another planer if this one dies on me during this project. So go slow so you can go some more. All right, let's get back to work. Breaks my heart. There's so much material on sawdust. You can't leave an 8-quarter board all the way down to the I wish I had the capacity to resolve them. If it happens, that's that. They're out of all these boards. That'd be a bunch of jury boxes or something. Whenever I don't have a low flat wood right there, so I have to walk around my plank on my typically whenever I need them, I try to put them forward and I open the rock and they can empty out. But that's the number right here. All right, so I finally have everything to a consistent thickness, and we're at 1 inch and 11/16. And that's with this setting and this pass right here. So now I need to run that whole entire stack through. We'll be at 1 11/16. And I got to keep going all the way down until we get to the final 1 3/8, which after this pass, I can probably go up in how much I take off. I've been doing about a 16th. I might be able to do 3/32 going forward and probably speed this up by a little bit. Because we need at least another quarter, which would be another 4 passes. So all of these will run through, and then I'll still have 4 more passes on all this material one more time. And I don't know, I might not actually finish that tonight. But we're going to go until my phone is about to die or until I get tired. I also have a bunch of baseball. Oh, and now that I have this cleared off, I probably won't stream tomorrow. Tomorrow will probably be videos I need to make. But hopefully everything will be milled up by tomorrow. And I recently put a Jessamine router lift into the wing of my table saw. See if the glare will go away. Yeah, I recently put the Jessamine router lift into the table saw, but I still need to route in T-track for the fence. I'm going to use my old fence. I kind of want to make a brand new fence, so it really just depends on what kind of time I have. But that stuff will be inside of an actual YouTube video, not so much on a live. So once I get this set up, then I'll be bringing all these boards that I just finished milled back to the router, which will end up being on a live. So I probably won't be live again until Tuesday. More than likely is what it seems like. And if I don't finish planning everything tonight, I'll plan everything tomorrow and then delve into plan everything tonight, tomorrow, build the fence, do a few test cuts, probably record all the footage I need for that from actual videos, and then I'll be able to go live again when I run the rest of this material through the router table. Also, I'm debating on what I'm going to do tonight because I have a bunch of baseboard. Tomorrow I'm going to a garage conversion, and I have a bunch of baseboard here. I do have a complete cut list kind of laid out inside the truck, so I can actually cut all the baseboard tonight. So when I go back to the garage tomorrow, it's just nailing it up. But again, do I feel like doing that tonight when I currently have all of this going on? And I have 2 estimates I need to finish up tonight as well. So how long do I stream? Actually, let me check what time it is now. It's been an hour. It should be like 11:40. Let's see. It's 11:50. Decisions. I could stop now, cut all the baseboard, which will have tomorrow be a really short day, and then I can always plane the rest of this tomorrow and get the stuff situated so I can come right to the routing process. I might call it right here because now at least I have everything at the same thickness. And I think yesterday I had changed the table, the planer height, so I can do a bunch of cutting boards because I had a vendor fair today. So the planer wasn't set up, but now it's set up to be the right height for all this material. So now it's just feeding it and, collecting it. So I'm very well might go ahead and call it a night, cut all this baseboard, do these 2 estimates. I think that'll probably be the best move. Don't want to get further behind. I ended up taking a nap today, which I wasn't supposed to. Like how those turn out. Let me bring them in. They actually said that would say the vendor fair was. This is my first one, but this is actually a free one. Somebody reached out to me on Facebook and they wanted to have a vendor fair. I decided to show up, and I wouldn't say no sales, but all I saw was my small stuff, like I have keychains, bottle openers, those type of things. None of the cutting boards sold. There was maybe like 30, 40 people that showed up outside of the vendors. So I'm not gonna say a waste of my time, but wasting my time. But let me actually I can grab those out of the truck and actually show you in just a second. Let me grab my keys. And yeah, definitely got to start somewhere. Just wish I would have started like, hey, I was going there hoping I was going to sell, all of my cutting boards when I got there. So I have a bunch of these. These are bottle openers, refrigerator magnets with my logo and number. I sold a couple of those. These, obviously, I didn't sell them because they're still here. But I have family and friends, and also I'm finishing up a garage right now. So that client would probably enjoy a couple of those. We have the inlaid coasters, walnut, red oak, and mahogany. Various patterns and inlays. And then we have phone holders. I would show you with my phone, but it's currently sitting up right there. These are just various phone holders. I had a bunch of stair treads from a job I did. And again, I have a problem throwing away stuff. So yeah, I ended up turning all the stair treads into phone holders. I sold like 4 of these though. So I'm actually surprised. I was selling these for like $4. And again, from a leftover stair tread, I made like, I cut a stair tread. It might be like a 48-inch stair tread. I might have cut it to like 36 or 38 or whatever to do the install. So I had, maybe 12 inches or so. So I ripped it down, ran some dados, and again, I made a bunch of these. I got a bunch of them. Those have been given away to friends, family. You can use them as a coaster if you want. But I made them as cell phone holders, and then we have all of the cutting boards. I only juice groove the other ones, the simpler ones I made last night. I just put a heavy chamfer on the underside to help you pick it up and a round over on the face. And then I went ahead and branded all of them. But again, that because it wasn't a farmer's market, it was a vendor fair. Like there was a couple people that had thank you. But yeah, there was a couple people that had like, knitted stuff, bikinis, not knitted, but crocheted. And there was one lady that had a bunch of like birdhouses. There was somebody there selling insurance, somebody else there was selling like lotions and oils. I will say I was the only person that actually made any sales that day. Well, today. Nobody else made anything. I only made like $35, $40, so it wasn't nothing special. But I did hand out my business card. I think I met probably like 2 feature clients. One person there, he has an older home, and he actually has a lot of work that needs to be done to it. And older homes are definitely up my alley as far as like if I'm going to go to a job site. Not that I want to tear apart an old house, but I do love restoration of older homes because when I got into finished carpentry, it was in older homes. So like, the millwork and everything else definitely it's a lot better than new construction. So somebody with an older home that wants to take care of it, I definitely wouldn't mind putting my energy into doing so. He has some doors he wants rebuilt, a couple pieces of furniture he needs refinished. He has a couple cutting boards he wants finished. He needs his floors redone. And I have, again, a floor guy, a plumber, an electrician, etc. So not too excited because, again, it's not shop work, but it's not bad. So, the farmer's market turned out to probably another project in the future. So wasn't a waste of time, just I was planning to walk out of there with $50 a cutting board. I have like 10 cutting boards. I was planning to walk out there with like $600-700. But again, my first one, and it didn't have the crowd that I was expecting. Again, this wasn't an actual farmer's market. It's like a vendor fair. They set it up at a funeral home that also does several events. So I think this was just really the funeral home trying to push and show that, hey, they can do several events. But now, again, with the number of things I have going on, I have baseboard. Oh, also, there was another thing I took down there. I didn't think I was going to sell it, but this is something I made a while back. Let me grab that out of my truck, too. Oh, shit, where is it? Oh, it's dark as fuck out here. Ouch. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys probably didn't see this build. And I will say the videos that I have on this build are definitely not the best. But I had also built a nightstand out of mahogany. I took it down there with the idea / intentions to sell. But again, a lot of people just gave me compliments on it. One thing I like about it, the drawer doesn't come out. You have to lift up to get it to come out. It's pretty cool. You have to lift up, you remove it all the way. I also on my channel, there's another nightstand that I built that had a hidden drawer underneath of it. So like this one was half the depth, and there was a hidden drawer underneath of it that was attached to the drawer front. I definitely need to make better videos. I think this build is pretty cool. Again, wooden drawer slides, added a little bit of runners. That's what stops it from coming out unless you lift up on it. Yeah. Again, that was scraps. The drawer fronts, stair treads, same ones that I used to make up the little phone holders, and mahogany with red oak on the edges on the front and back. So essentially I glued up a mahogany and red oak panel, and then I just mitered it to make this trapezoid and leftover red oak stuff for the legs. I think it came out pretty good, but again, expecting to sell that at a farmer's market where I made less than $40 was probably ambitious, but I did have a pretty cool looking setup, you know, between all the cutting boards and everything else. I think I had a great display, just not the place to sell everything. Whew. But again, I have a garage conversion I'm supposed to be getting back to tomorrow. I have the rest of this material to plane down. I think you actually missed the first part of the stream, boss man, but we have everything down to about 1 5/8 inches. We still have 1 3/8 inches to go. I'm currently debating on if I'm going to plane all this tonight or if I'm going to switch over and cut all this baseboard so when I go out to the garage tomorrow, it's easier for me. Oh, you cut all of it? Awesome. But yeah, I have all this baseboard for the garage conversion. I do have a cut list sitting inside of my truck, so I can't actually sit here and cut all this tonight. So when I go tomorrow, the install will be nice and easy. My cut list has all the pieces of baseboard. I was moderated on the metal detection stream. Oh, you missed most? Okay. I need to actually get me a mod or two. I don't really think I have that many chats that come through though, but definitely get in there. Okay, you heard the plans. Awesome. But yeah, so I got all this baseboard I need to cut. I could do it all on site tomorrow, but again, I do have a complete cut list in the back of the truck. Everything's numbered, so I can cut them, number them, and kind of go put everything into place tomorrow without having to do all the cutting on site. I have some pickets I need to put in. Not pickets, but handrails, spindles to put in, and baseboard, and a little bit of casing. So I'm like, if I take care of all the baseboard cutting tonight, I can go in there and be out of there really quick, then come back here and do the stuff I have to do. But also, I have 2 invoices I told clients I'll have ready by tonight, and I haven't started them. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to cut the stream short instead of going the full 2.5, 3 hours. Yes, that is half the success. But again, my problem is executing. Like today, when I got back from the farmer's market, my plan was to, yeah, I definitely got to get those invoices, which I hate. Admin work is not my cup of tea. That is like my least favorite thing to do. But yeah, I have 2 invoices to do, one for a set of stairs, one for a lady that wants me to build some cabinets and then do some LVP throughout her downstairs. I don't drink coffee. Energy drinks I used to in my youth, but then I stopped. But yeah, so I have the invoices, potentially baseboard, and then I probably should be editing some videos just so I don't get behind on my editing. So I'm thinking about cutting it short, doing some invoices, and if I still have the energy, I might cut all the baseboard. And then tomorrow have a short day installing, then come back here to get to all the fun stuff, which is planing. And then before I actually get to the next live, will probably be a little bit because I've just recently put the Jessam router lift and everything else inside of my bench. I do have my old router table, which just clamps and the kind of bench dogs off of my benches. I could use that and get into routing right away, but I want to build a whole new fence and everything else. So I might have tomorrow to plane, build a new fence, get the router table situated, and do this on site. And then that way, come Tuesday, we can get into routing everything with our new fancy. Because again, I could use my standard my router table right now, but that one having the lift, be easier to adjust, a lot more stable, no wobble. And I want a better fence before I start running all these larger bits on all this ash, because I did cut extra pieces. I have extra rails. Yeah, big bits. These are the biggest ones I have, actually. I'm excited. I don't have a shaper, but this is as close as I'm going to get. So yeah, I'm actually excited to run these. But yeah, I didn't also, one thing I'm kind of kicking my butt about right now, I didn't make any extra styles. I have extra rail material back there, but no extra styles. I have one board over there that's long enough to make another style, but heaven forbid I fuck something up and I have to go all the way back and mill another style or go pick up more material. So the goal is to have a really accurate, really nice running router table before I test these bits. This is, again, first time using these. So I do have a bunch of shorter pieces I can test on, being all the rail material, but no extra styles. So I have feather boards and everything else. So that's why I want to get that fully situated. Because again, long boards, heavy boards, I'd rather not use my old router table, which I did like 3 doors with this one. Wasn't really an issue. But before I go and run all that material through a router table, I would much rather have a lift. I want a better fence, etc. Hence why this one is now mounted into my table saw. And the benefit is I have this is all in feed, because as I'm feeding it this way, it can all rest on this table as it goes through, which will make it a little bit more stable. And I probably can set up my planer on the offset to catch the boards as they come out of the router table. That's the game plan. And then, sadly enough, I still have all of this 4/4 material that needs to get milled up and glued up for panels. So even after I have the doors looking kind of like doors, we're still not even halfway there, because these are 5-panel doors. I think the panel's going to be about 9 inches, 10 inches, give or take. And I have a couple 1x12s. Most of them are 1x6s, so I got to do glue ups. So, and again, I do have a pretty detailed cut list right here. Not the prettiest picture, but it is color coded with a detailed cut list and then a rough cut list. So I have everything I need to kind of work off of. It's just, again, getting everything executed because I am exhausted. Yes, running the one-man army right now. I think I've been going to sleep around like 4 o'clock every night the last week. 4 o'clock every night, and then getting up around like 8, 9 o'clock, which it's been rough, but I am making progress. I think I made a bunch of cutting boards that didn't sell, and we have a bunch of boards planed roughly. So making progress. And again, that's why I'm like, tonight I took a nap. I'm actually feeling a lot better than I have the last 3 nights. The last 3 nights I didn't take a nap, and I was up to 4. Today I took a nap. So I'm like, I can probably sit down and voice it up for the next 2 hours, maybe cut all that baseboard, then go to sleep, then wake up tomorrow and go do the install. But that might be pushing it, but I definitely think I'm probably going to call this short. No need to go for another hour and a half. I don't think I'll be able to get all these down to 1 3/8 if I did do that. So that'll just be me pushing just to not even finish this process when there's 2 other things that are important, being the invoices, so I can line up the next project and this baseboard so I can make tomorrow work day shorter. So I do appreciate everybody for hanging out with me tonight. We had a great stream. It's been great streams in general. I think I've been streaming again every day for like the last almost this whole entire week, I think. And I've had fluctuating views from I think 140 to like 45, 30, but I stayed to at least about 10 to 15 people inside of the chat throughout the whole entire stream since last week, and I greatly appreciate all of you guys. Have a few branded with mom. Well done. I won't keep you waiting. Get your work done. Those look nice. It was Mother's Day's coming. Oh, see, I have a branding iron, but how do you brand your things? So my branding iron only has my logo. Do you know somebody with like a laser engraver or a CNC, or do you just get like a letter kit for your branding iron so you can brand individual letters? I have a few brand. Okay, you're saying branding with mother. Because that's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. Mother Day is coming up, and moms love cutting boards. And if there's a good husband or a dad, they will buy their wife/mother a cutting board. And I can probably pitch it that way. I have a little Hobby Lobby one. Does it have a bunch of letters on it? Because, yeah, my branding iron for my logo is a handheld one, and it screws on my actual logo. I think I have it sitting on my bench. 1 second. Where is it? There it is. This one I picked up off of Amazon. Again, it's just an iron with my logo head. Just screws on. So, I mean, I saw some that I think you can actually get letters and see, I'll make fishing lures. Are you hand carving stuff? How are you making fishing lures? Because, yeah, I have no carving skills. And like a fishing lure, you know, you want it to at least look like a fish. Kind of. I mean, some hand carve. See, that's a whole skill. I wish I had better hand tool skills. Dremel. That's what I need. See, if I had a Dremel, I probably would delve into a whole bunch of stuff. Because yeah, hand carving by like hand with chisels, that's a long road. But I think if I had a Dremel, I would definitely delve into a lot of stuff, like one of those Arbortech cuts all disc or the ball gouge and stuff. I can definitely get into a lot of cool carvings or try. I can see kind of where my skills will take me there, but by hand, like with chisels, like the old school way, I think it's a little beyond me. I do have a hand tool bench. I do use it occasionally, but I'm not quite as affluent. I got chisels, but that's for slabs and cleaning up grooves. Yes, my chisels don't really get much use. The only hand tool that I really use consistently is probably my hand plane. My hand plane gets a decent amount of use. And yeah, definitely got to appreciate the old school stuff, because sometimes the hand plane might be the fastest way. Like if I have shorter boards, if I only had a couple boards to edge joint or something like that, if I know it has a decent cup in it, I can get it right with the hand plane really, really quick. And bow ties. Yeah, you said that. I gotta try my first bow tie. Gotta find a project for that. I do have a couple slabs. Could make it down the room table. That's an option. And actually, yeah, the guy that I met at the farmer's market, he said he had a tree cut down. I forgot what kind of wood he said it was. But the person that cut it down, they milled it up to like a 1 foot by 4 foot wide like chunk. It's a giant log. All they did was square it up pretty much. They did not slab it for him. So he also asked me if I can get somebody to resaw it and turn that into a dining room table. So good excuse for bow ties. That would be a good one. But yeah, so I'm about to try to be productive. I really appreciate you guys for hanging out tonight. Appreciate you, boss man, for coming in and dropping some info, because I'm definitely going to be using it. I want to get a jig for bow ties because doing it by hand. I'm planning to get I haven't gotten it yet, but I want to get some acrylic. A lot of people use those for templates. I would love to get a couple of different pieces of acrylic so I can make several different templates. Because that's what I'll probably do. I'll make like 5 different sizes of bow ties. I'll have, a template so I can easily template route them in and also produce them a lot easier. Game plan. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the night. I'll be seeing you guys maybe tomorrow, but more than likely on Tuesday. I really appreciate everybody for hanging out. And yeah, jigs. Gotta have some jigs for everything. Because these doors, actually, I'm going to make another jig. These are going to be old school mortise lock. This is in a old home, hence the 5-panel doors. So the client wants old school mortise locks on all these doors. I've only ever installed 2. So, well, not even installed, but like I chiseled out 2 like further back in my youth. So like now, since I have 10 of them to do, I'm going to make a jig so I can kind of template route it out. So that's coming. That'll be an interesting portion of it. That'll be an interesting live when we finally get there. But again, I really appreciate you guys for hanging out. And if you have enjoyed, smash the like button, leave me a comment, check out my other channels, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And then I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.